Welcome to this edition of Beauty Business Matters. I'm Susan Routledge, your host, and I am here with the awesome Helena Biggs, who is the editorial director of Scratch magazine and has been for many, many years. And we've just been talking, and one of our other titles is Bossy Biggs. That's what our team call her.
Yeah. When I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone.
So, Helena, thank you so much for joining us today, because you know, the nail industry is like such a huge industry. And I mean, how long's Scratch magazine been on the go?
22 years now, so a very long time, and I've been there for almost 17 years of that. So if you'd have asked me years ago, would I still be working in the nail industry, I would have probably said no, but the fact is it's so vibrant, it's so creative, it's so innovative. Yeah. I absolutely love it, and I'm still here, still finding things to write about and do.
Still being Bossy Biggs.
Yes, still being Bossy Biggs, absolutely.
So where did your journey start with all this? It's been into editorial work, all you've ever wanted to do, or was it the nail side that enticed you? How did it all start?
Well, when I was 11, I wanted to be a lollipop lady, but then things changed, and I started realising that I love to talk to people, and I was nosy as well as being bossy. I was nosy, and I just loved asking questions. So I ended up going to uni and did a multimedia journalism degree, and graduated from that and worked in TV and radio for a couple of years. Had a radio show, loved that, but then found my way into print journalism. It just seemed a bit safer at the time, and I'd always had a passion for writing, and I actually started working for a flooring and laminate magazine, which wasn't really my thing, but you know, you're fresh and you're hungry and you've just got to go for it. And I fell into beauty really because I had a job interview on a Friday at 4:30 it was, I'll always remember, and that was for Scratch magazine, and they offered me the job an hour later, and at Monday I was at my first ever beauty trade show. Completely dove straight into the deep end on that one.
And so did you go in straight away as editor?
No, I worked my way up. So I was in my early 20s at the time, and started off as a staff writer, and then worked my way up through the job titles, and now oversee all of our partnerships, competitions, and our editorial direction across the magazine, social media and the website.
Yeah, I mean, you've just like said that as if like, yeah, this is what I do. What does a typical week look like for you? Because like there are so many different elements to what you do.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
You know what? That's
or is there not a typical
exciting.
week?
There isn't. I think there's always. I'm very used to spinning quite a few plates at the same time, and I actually wouldn't have it any other way because my attention span probably couldn't focus on one block thing for many hours. But I don't write so much anymore. I leave that to my wonderful team and some freelancers. But I've sort of planned the strategy of the magazine moving forward. So what we've got going on online that week, what we've got going in the next issue of the magazine, but also currently I'm working on international growth of the brand and the magazine. So I'm doing that through partnerships abroad with some trade shows, and also we have a number of competitions and awards. So I administer a few of those, and some of those are international as well. So I'm looking at driving the Scratch brand via competitions and events, and just kind of boosting the standards of the nail industry, hopefully long term on a global scale.
Wow. So obviously does the magazine just go out UK based?
The print copy, we do have about 6,000 subscribers predominantly in the UK, but it is accessible from anywhere in the world, and we have seen a big uptake in US subscribers since we've been doing a bit of international work over there. So anyone all over the world can read it for free via our website.
So obviously the online side's getting huge. So why do you see that the States is getting so big? Are we leading the way? Or
Yes and no. A lot of nail brands originate in the US, and some, iconic brands such as C&D, OPI, Gelish, their headquarters are in the US. And when gel polish boomed, then that's when we saw a big uptake of users of nail products and professional products. And I think, with regard to the US, I wouldn't say it's ahead of the UK. I'd say it's kind of on par. The difference in the US, though, is that it's licensed. A huge issue that we have in the UK is that we are an unlicensed, unregulated industry. But in the US, they have licenses per state. So I do think that standards are that bit higher because they're more controlled. But in terms of nail art, it's the same as it is in the UK, is that, everyone has their niche, and it can be, you have some nail professionals doing specialist avant-garde nails. You have some that specialise in the natural nail. So, yeah, trends are trends when it comes to the West, I think, and we see similar trends between the US and the UK.
So I think that quite nicely leads on to like standards and things in the industry, because I think, obviously, like you say, it's unregulated for us. And do you see that as being a long way off, or regulation?
Unfortunately, I do. I think now that our industry has made moves in aesthetics with regard to licensing and stricter controls over that, then I do think the domino effect will follow with regard to other areas of the beauty sector. But unfortunately, I think nails is quite far down the list. And I know there are some amazing industry bodies such as the NHBF, the British Beauty Council and Babtac who are working so hard, and individuals as well, such as Marion Newman, BM, who are working to help heighten the standards within this industry and push for this regulation. And, they've even introduced such as, hygiene rating schemes to try and, really encourage people to focus on what they're doing and meet the standards that are required of a safe service. So I do think, though, we are a long way off. I think there are other beauty treatments to come before that we have a shot at being regulated.
See, I don't think that the general public know that there's any difference between going to one salon to another. And obviously our readers and people who watch the show, we do have a lot from the industry, but we do have a lot from the general public. How does someone know whether they're going to a reputable business or not?
I think the responsibility is twofold. Ultimately, it's down to the beauty professional, the nail technician, the hairdresser, to shout about their accreditation, to shout about any awards that they have, to shout about their training, show those certificates on the salon wall or in your home salon, or have them on your website. And then it's down to the consumer, the client, to ask the right questions. Oh, who did you train with? Or, oh, is that accredited by anyone? And it's up to them really to do a bit of due diligence and do some research and maybe know the difference between, a great nail service and a poor nail service, and looking at people's reviews and looking at photos. Does this look like the photo of those celebrity nails that were nice and neatly polished? No, it doesn't. So maybe that nail tech isn't as good as I thought they were. Or it's twofold. You've got to ask the right questions.
Yeah. And the detriment side is, because I think, most people would go to a salon and look to see whether it's clean and tidy. They'll look for like a lamp and for, nice colours and things like that. But it goes beyond that. I don't think a lot of people realise that, it's down to the wattage of the lamps and everything that should be tied in with the brand and all of that kind of thing. So what, because again, I think, and I do think a lot of, maybe it's not nail techs, but general beauty therapists don't realise that either, about the wattage of lamps and different things. So what are the key things that are essential to make sure that you are doing the right standards?
I think it's a really important point that you brought up there about matching systems. So obviously my expertise, for want of a better word, is in the nail sector and not so much beauty. So I can speak on that. And there are reasons why products are made as a system. So you have a base coat, a colour and a top coat, for example, in a gel polish system, and you have a lamp, you can't just go and use another lamp and hope it's going to work the same. It's like using a different shampoo and conditioner. You wouldn't do that because they're meant to be designed to work as a pair. And a lot of people don't realise that in the nail world. And it's so important because that has been scientifically proven to work if you use that certain wattage of a lamp with that base coat, with that top for this curing time. And the problems that come from that are undercuring, which leads to overexposure, which then can be a massive trigger for allergies, and which is why the nail industry gets a poor reputation. So when nail professionals are investing in new products, they need to invest in a full system if that's what the system requires, or they need to do their research. And that is a huge thing. I mean, there are trade shows, there are trade magazines that can provide the accurate information, but you've also got to do your due diligence. And I'm going to keep saying that phrase because it's so important that people do their own research. And so in a salon, they need to be working within the parameters of what that brand requires and what that service requires. And otherwise their insurance could be affected as well. If they're not using a compatible system and God forbid a client has an allergic reaction or something happens to their hands or their feet as a result of overexposure, for example, then they're not going to be insured because they weren't using the system as it was meant to be used. So that is a big thing. Cleanliness absolutely is paramount, and I just think it's important to just keep up to date with rules when it comes to what products you're using as well, because we've got a few coming in the nail industry about TPO. It's a whole different conversation, but you've got to be very aware of what ingredients are in your products and how they react and how you're using them with people as well. So doing your research, keeping up to date. Even if you work on your own, and we see this a lot in the beauty industry, we have a lot of solo workers. They need to be really hot on the latest news, the latest developments, and you get that from trade organisations, trade magazines. Yes to the internet, but I would say use that wisely. Yes to social media, but again, use that even more wisely. So yeah, keeping up to date is really important.
But that, like you said earlier on, that is where it's missing as well. I don't see nail techs or even good salons shouting about that kind of thing, that they are doing things right. So until that happens, clients are going to be a little bit naive, and so when someone has an offer down the road, they're not going to know what the difference is of, like, apart from, like I say, they see a gel lamp, they see colours, they see like you say, it has to be from within, doesn't it, where we are shouting about the standards and things as well.
And one thing I will say about nail professionals is they're such a lovely group. It's such an amazing industry, but they don't shout about their skills enough. They're very humble and they're almost quite shy. They just like to get down and do. Yes, I am stereotyping, but I've done this for a long time, and I've met a lot of people, and they're just like, oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to do that. I feel like it's a contrast with the hair industry. Hairdressers do love to shout about what they do, and they love to profile themselves. And people in the beauty industry don't seem to as much, but it's actually not about profiling yourself as much. It's beneficial to your business, because if you're shouting that your prices are X because you've done this amount of training, you've gone and done training in Poland with an amazing nail artist, and to build your skills you've gone and got this qualification, you've signed up to this scheme, you've won this award, you've entered yourselves into these competitions, that's shows the client that you are very dedicated to making sure that you uphold the best standards possible. And I, as a client myself, I would much rather pay £5 or £10 more for a manicure service to someone that was taking those or being more conscious about what they're doing than someone who was charging £10 less and didn't really care.
And I think price is a big thing, isn't it? Because predominantly it's sort of like thought of that nails should be a certain price or up to a certain price, which is crazy, isn't it? Because, you know, you've got nail techs who've got like so many years of experience, but not charging their worth, charging similar to what someone who's just left college or someone who's just done a short course. And it just, I see that like is one of the main reasons why someone comes out of the nail side, because when you have, you know, like when you have equipment where someone can be charging 150, 200 pounds for a facial treatment in an hour, and then they're charging that 40 pounds or whatever for the same length of time, but it again, I think that is down to educating clients as well, in that like it's a profession, isn't it?
Definitely. And it's for results that can last up to 3 weeks, and it's also for a long-term journey if you're on a natural nail care growth journey. And you and I were chatting the other day about hairdressers and how in 1 hour, for example, they can probably earn £200 because they can start someone's colour. While that's setting, they can go and do, you know, 2 crew cuts or something within that time and then come back. And now technicians can't do that. They're solely focused on that client. They've only got 2 hands. Their client's got 2 hands, and there they are at the nail desk for at least an hour working on their clients. So you need to, when you put it into perspective, what a hairdresser earns compared to a beauty therapist or a nail tech in this circumstance, you need to realise, am I charging the right things? And there are so many amazing pricing calculators out there now. And I do think that now professionals would really benefit from using these because they've got the same overheads, they've got the same product costs, they've invested in their training. What grinds my gears, I would say, is when clients are like, well, it only takes you half an hour. Yes, because I've spent so much money on training to master my craft and get my timings down to half an hour and still do an exceptional manicure service. That's why I'm charging X amount for that half an hour. It doesn't mean it's rushed, or it doesn't mean it's a bog standard service. It's because I've invested in my skill set. And I really encourage more nail professionals to look at what they're charging. Don't look at competition. Because don't look at who's down the road, because find your niche. What's your niche? You're amazing at natural nail care. Okay, charge for it. Look at what products you're using. Look at the long-term journey with your client, and look at what they're willing to invest in that journey as well. But look at your overheads. All of our bills have gone up. Look at the practicalities of it. A lot of people forget that. Everyone's bills have gone up. So you need to be putting your prices up year on year with inflation and with the cost of living. So it's so important to reassess, you know, at least every 6 months, I would say.
Definitely. But I think one other thing that's missed quite a lot as well is aftercare products. You know, it's very rare that like sort of it's you know, again, going back to the skincare industry, it's like sort of right, you know, that you would get clients to be using the products at home. I think that is like a huge missed opportunity as well, isn't it?
Big time, because you've just amazingly judged our Scratch Stars Awards. You've been on the judging panel for that. And in the salon categories, we do ask the question, you know, what was their aftercare advice? And a lot of people forget to give that aftercare advice. But if you think about it, you're actually giving it during the service. If you're putting cuticle oil at the end of a manicure on your client, all you need to say is, I'm putting this on because it moisturises, it aids flexibility. Oh, I'm also selling these as well. Would you like one?
Yeah, and clients will just automatically go, yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Hand them their card machine and away they go. They're just tapping, fantastic. And you've just earned an extra, you know, £5-6.
Yeah.
Do that every service. That could be an extra £50 a day. It's an easy sell, but I do think a lot of people think, oh, aftercare retailing. Oh no, I'm not a salesperson. I can't do that. Just incorporate it into your service. You're doing it while you're talking to your client. Make it a part of that, and capitalize on events as well. Mother's Day, put bundles in the window. If you're you know, Valentine's Day, put voucher offers, and I guarantee you will get people walking past on the street, if you're a high street salon, for example, who are just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. That's a great, here I go, pop in, here's, £200 on a gift voucher or whatever it may be. And, oh, look, there's a new client as well. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's just putting messages out there and talking to people.
Yeah, I think it's thinking outside the box, isn't it? Because I think as well, when you're busy, it's just a case of like client,
Yeah.
and everything else tends to go out the window kind of thing. But do you find, just going back to the pricing thing, are you finding now that nail techs are starting to charge their worth more? Is it still just a small percentage, and are some of them really stepping out of that box now and
I think
doing
last
it?
year there was a movement by a lady called Amy Guy on social
Yes,
media.
I
It was
can
National
remember.
Nail Tech Price
Yes.
Increase Day, and that spurred a lot of nail techs on to charge their worth, to reevaluate their prices. And that was very beneficial, and it made the national news as well. It was a big movement, and a lot of people kind of woke up to the idea that, I'm not charging my worth here, and I could be charging a lot more. And me, as a nail client myself, my nail tech put up her prices. It doesn't stop me going, because I'm so used to having, a lovely manicure now, and I can't be without it, and I'd feel lost. And I'm like, well, of course, my gas company is charging more this year. Why shouldn't my nail technician? It makes sense. And if your client doesn't like it, then they're not the client for you. There are plenty more out there who will be attracted to your services. And I think the fear factor is always a scary thing. It's like, oh no, I'm going to lose all my clients. You might just be losing the right ones and attracting better ones.
Exactly, because everyone does put themselves into a price point as well. So, the thing is that I'm one of those people who I think if something's too cheap, I think there must be something wrong with it. They can't be using the best. And I want to go to someone who's using the best. So I would just automatically look for someone who's charging that higher price. So, fingers crossed, hopefully it starts to spread far and wide. That
I do think people are they're having to be a little bit more savvy when it comes to their pricing, and have a look at those pricing calculators as well, because otherwise it's not a job that is going to make you enough money to survive in this industry. So I do think people are a little bit more aware of it, and I just hope that nail professionals, it's amazing the investment they put in their craft, and it's incredible what they do. So I just hope that they are charging their worth, because they deserve to be compensated properly for their skills.
So just someone starting new in the industry, what route would you advise someone to take? Because obviously when I trained, we had to, when I trained, we had to train in a full beauty therapy training. So I did 4 years. We had to do hair as well. But so would you still advise someone to do like a level 2 qualification, or would it be to look for a good organisation where you can train from scratch just in nails? And then obviously there's all these day courses. And I should imagine, if you aren't from the industry and you are just like thinking, I would, and you feel you've got a passion for that industry, what is the best route?
Right, there are different routes for everyone, and I think that every single one has a value, bar the half-day become a nail tech courses, which are a problem in themselves. But apprenticeships are huge right now, and I know that there has been a huge focus, a government focus on boosting the number of apprenticeships, because that hands-on experience is so valuable. But that is, of course, alongside a college course or an MVQ. And that kind of delivers the best of both worlds, because you get that formal training, but you get the practical training, you get the business side of things. But some people come out of school, they don't know what they're quite ready to do, and will go to college and find a lot of peace and comfort and joy in doing a college course or a qualification in that respect. But that apprenticeships, it's again down to doing your own research, asking the right questions. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions, because companies and colleges will always be willing to answer you. No one wants to turn you away, and no one wants to set you on a bad path. So ask the questions. Don't worry about being too annoying. Just about, what do I learn on this? What will I get at the end of this? What support is there after this? What are the benefits of this, and what am I going to learn? Maybe speak to people who have done that before, or who have been on that college course before, for example, or people who have done an apprenticeship before. What did they enjoy about it? What were the negatives, and see if it's the right learning path for you. So all about asking questions and doing my thing and just being nosy all the time.
Going back to the apprenticeship thing, I mean, most of my team, and over the years, a lot of my long-term team have all come through the apprenticeship route.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that gets massively overlooked. I think the days have gone where it was like, a cheap way to get a new member of a team or whatever. It's a quality way to really learn. And I think you learn so much more, even when you're either shadowing or when you are getting that practice on a daily basis kind of thing. It's a huge, huge difference. And it's great that the government are starting to incentivise again around that. But I think what everyone forgets as well is, I think people think that it's like a thing for a 16 to 18-year-old, where a lot of our apprentices have been in their 30s when they've started with us. And I think that's something that it's massively overlooked. So I think there's so many different routes now.
Oh, definitely. And it's just the practical skills that apprenticeships afford are, you can't get them anywhere else. It's brilliant. And for the employer, you're getting someone that's trained in your way. You're building loyalty. They've got used to your environment. They're not going anywhere for a while because you've trained them up. They know how to work in your business. And you've, I hate the word moulded, but you've almost moulded someone to work for you, and it creates that kind of happy family scenario. That's a good route, but ultimately it's down to the individual and down to them to research and ask all the questions.
So then someone obviously gets into the industry, beautiful, lovely industry, because I think it's such a sociable thing as well, isn't it? It's just so lovely. But then wanting to elevate, obviously, I know there's the awards, there's a competition. Can we unpack what each part, what every bit's going to do for someone? So like the competitions, what kind of different elements are judged in the competitions?
Right. So for Scratch Magazine, we actually run 2 competitions or awards events, I should say. So we run Nail Olympia competitions worldwide. So you'll often find those at trade shows, and they're the on the floor arena or online competitions. And you're competing for medals in different divisions. So if you're new, you'd start in Division 1. If you're a master, you'd be in Division 3. And they're all about really perfecting your technical skills. That's all it focuses on, is having the most perfect liquid and powder acrylic nail you could ever come across. And entering those competitions, you're getting judged by 20 odd judges from all over the world who are creme de la creme of the industry. You're not going to get that anywhere else apart from these competitions that bring these judges together, that fly them over. And they're looking at different aspects of the nail to perfect your technical skills. And training for a competition, it's all about the timings. So we run Nail Olympia competitions all over the world now. I think we've got about 7 or 8 different locations for 2025. And it's incredible that, a lot of people now, professionals, fly to, say, 4 of those locations to compete against people in those countries to see how their skills measure up as well. And that is so important in personal and professional development, because you're seeing, right, this is how I am on a global scale. Okay, I came second. Next year I'm aiming for first. Great. Or, I didn't score. Let's look at my feedback sheet. Let's see, right, my smile lines need work, or my application here needs work. My painting skills need work. It's all about making your technical skills the best that they can be, because ultimately you can charge more if you've got the best nails. If you've got 6 gold medals and a bronze and you've won this cup, you can really start capitalizing on that and profiling yourself, and people will pay more to come and see you. But you've perfected your timing, so it means that when you go back to the nail desk, you're being able to do a manicure service that bit faster, but still to an amazing skill level. You can probably fit 2 in an hour. So that would be the competition side of things.
So can you actually train to be a competition standard tech?
There are lots of industry veterans who offer competition training because they've gone through the competition level and they've retired from competitions and are now judges. And a lot of them do offer training, which is so valuable because it works on your timings, it works on your accuracy as well. So there are loads out there all over the world, and some you can do online training with and some you can do in person. But I've known now Olympia competitors fly all over Europe or even fly to the States to go and train with specialists to try and really perfect areas of their nails, which is incredible. So competitions are really valuable. I always say though, never ever go into a competition just to win. Competitions are not about winning. That is the cherry on the cake. It's about working on your timings, working on your accuracy, bettering your skills, because you're getting feedback from these incredible international judges. So that is so valuable in itself. So you're entering a competition per se, but you're doing it to get that feedback and to grow your skills and to develop. Winning is a bonus, and it gives you things to either, right, I've got to maintain that level or I've got to keep increasing in order to keep a medal next year. So yeah, competitions are very, very valuable in that circumstance.
So at the competitions, how close can you get to observing like what's going on?
They're usually, if you go to trade shows like Professional Beauty Autumn is when the next Nail Olympia London is, and in the arena you'll see it's an arena, but you can watch from the outside and you can have a look at everyone at work, and you can go and see it at nails afterwards when they come out of the arena as well. So you can see it, what they're creating, and obviously we've got photographers and videographers there who showcase it after, and you can go on Scratch and Nail Olympia's feeds to see people's work up close. But yeah, you can spectate, and that's always a fun experience, watching these people at work and watching their mastery. It's brilliant. It's really good.
And the competitions, are there like categories for like nail art and that? Because some of the nail art is just like art
Incredible.
is an understatement.
Yeah.
It's like I've never seen anything like it.
It's
Some of the
amazing.
work that's done.
If you go on the Nail Olympia website, have a look at some of the fantasy or the to stiletto and beyond entries, because wow, what these creators can do.
Yeah.
On a nail. There were some in Orlando recently. We held a Nail Olympia competition there, and we had the judges second guessing. They were like, that's got to be a model of some kind, like a toy model or something, because wow, has that really been created from nail products? And it was. We got confirmation these were, and it's just amazing to see what these people could do. But that also takes me on to why competitions are so great and why artistic categories are so great, because there are people out there thinking, these avant-garde nails, these fantasy nails, these huge ones, they're not practical. I can't do anything. They're not designed to be practical. Yeah. Look at Fashion Week. You wouldn't wear probably anything that you see on the catwalk, right? It's extremes of it, but they taper down into high street fashions. It's the same thing with nails. People are really trying to work with products and see what their products can do and what they can create with their products, to taper it down into, I know how that works. So at the nail desk, when I've got an acrylic nail extension to do, then okay, I know how these products work together. I've tried that before. This is how I've pushed that product and how I've used it, and it's all about solution making as well. So it's incredible that competitions allow you to really push yourself with product use as well, to see how far you can take it and what you can do.
Wow. So do you get to travel around the world and to go to these competitions and things?
Yeah. So while Nail Olympia, that was actually who spearheads that is Alex Fox, who is the co-founder of Scratch magazine. She spearheads that, but I support on an administrative role. So we've just come back from China and Orlando these past few weeks, which is amazing. We launched the first Nail Olympia in China. And that was a wonderful experience, seeing how Asian nail techs respond to categories and what their work is like on an arena floor was wonderful. And yeah, we've got a few more exciting locations coming up and more to be announced. So that's quite fun.
And do they have different techniques and different, like it's something to learn from each country that...
Yes, I mean, the score sheets are the same for each country. So if you're entering L&P acrylic in Orlando, you're being scored exactly the same as you would be in London. But what Alex does is she gets to know the styles in each country, and she might introduce a category that's only available in that country. So in China, we had 2 different categories that were introduced that aren't on any of the other Nail Olympia rosters, but they are in China. So yeah, it's nice to introduce something that is, I guess, more localized and very relevant to the nail professionals that are there.
Because I think as well, I think this is opening up where, you know, again, like it fascinates me how, you know, in the beauty industry, like you can take one element of your training, or whether you've specialised in one area, whether that be lashes, nails, skin, whatever, and then take it to like all the different extremes, isn't it? You know, and with nails, I should imagine that it opens up working in theatrical areas, you know, TV work, all sorts of different areas. So, you know, it's not just that you train as a nail tech and necessarily be working, you know, from home, where I think that I'm not quite sure now whether like colleges and things teach that you know, you can go global with all of this, because
it's session work. I think we see it with nail art in particular. I know a nail tech, we're just trying to get an interview of her at the moment. She's just collaborated with Aldi on a series of really cool artistic nails that they're now selling in Aldi stores, because they picked up her idea from her social platforms. And you'll see a lot of brands now finding nail professionals to create something that goes viral on social media for them to elevate their brand. So it's the possibilities are endless, and you know, it's why I think awards and competitions are so important in supporting profiles as well. Like we've got the Scratch Stars Awards coming up, our big Scratch Stars party, which is one of my main hats, and the event I most look forward to each year, which is awards for nail professionals and businesses in the UK and Ireland. So we've been doing that for 13 years now to elevate their profiles and reward them and recognise them for their skills. And it's very, very different to Nail Olympia.
So obviously I've judged for Scratch magazine for a few years now. And I think I'm even seeing like a big change in like the standards and things, and it's all very, very exciting, isn't it? It's like, what would you advise someone to do who was thinking of entering the awards?
First of all, don't be scared. So the Scratch Stars Awards was designed with Nail Olympia, we've got the technical skill mastered, it's covered. But when we launched the Scratch Stars Awards, we were like, we want to reward I hate this word, but the everyday nail technician, someone who is offering their clients a wonderful service, a great experience at the nail desk, is also paying attention to health and safety needs, to, you know, industry needs and standards, and just needs to be profiled and recognised for doing a great job day to day. They may not be the most technically proficient nail technician in the UK and Ireland, but they're giving their customer an incredible experience, and that customer is walking away happy, and they're doing it safely. That's what the Scratch Stars is for. And if that sounds like you need to enter next year. So with the Scratch Stars Awards, the first stage is just filling in an entry form online and uploading some pictures. No one needs to know that you're doing it. So if you are feeling a little bit worried or a little bit scared, or that humble that we talked about earlier, then that's the first stage. We then announce finalists, 5 finalists in each category. And categories range from gel polish stylist of the year to nail salon of the year, social media star of the year, home nail salon of the year, mobile tech of the year. You know, there are 18 categories for 2025. And the way that they're judged, we ask you how you deal with business scenarios. Yes, we look at your nail work and your nail skills. Obviously, that's a very important point. But we look at, you know, the care you give your clients. We'll look at reviews you have online. We'll look at testimonials. And it's just thinking, right, that person dealt with that scenario in a very effective way. Great. we think they deserve to be recognised. They will then be announced as a finalist amongst 4 others in their category, and then we put it down to the judging panel like yourselves to then assess on a variety of criteria, from mystery shops to portfolio submissions to social media prowess, and then on. And then it culminates in a huge, amazing industry party, one that we've got coming up on the 6th of July this year.
I know. We'll talk about the event, because, I always think of awards like events. They're just like that huge celebration, aren't they? But just going back to the judging process, what I really like as well about how you have, like, the judging panels that you have. Like, for me, obviously, I'm more of like a business background, like business strategy kind of side. So you've got people from like sort of the business side right through to like the nail tech side. There's such a vast. How many judges do you have in total?
Oh, like, for the practical tasks, which are like L&P, which require a judging day in London, we had 20 judges on that. So they were all educators and existing now professionals, these veterans of the industry. And then we have 10 categories that are more focused on business, social media, salons. So like yourself, we try to have 4 or 5 judges scoring each category. So I think I had another 25 judges for the business category. So almost 50 judges across 18 categories this year, because we want to make it as fair and as transparent as possible, and by having 4 or 5 judges on each category means that a diversity of opinions and scores are accounted for, and it allows for that all-rounded look as well. And we send feedback straight to our finalists after the awards, so that they can learn and they can grow and they can progress from comments from experts such as yourselves. Yeah,
and I think that's the great thing. And going back to what you said in the beginning, I think it is just I always say with awards, just fill in the application. Even if you think you're not going to press send, fill it in, because it's you forget how great the things that you do. We take for granted so much that we do, and we forget how much our clients appreciate us. And I think the exercise of just filling in a entry is great. And then I would always say, if you filled it in, you may as well press send. And like you say, you don't have to tell anyone you've done it.
Yeah.
So 50-50, you might get through, you might not, but and the thing is that you're going to learn from each time, that in observing who's won and who's gone through and what they have done, and you can then think, I should add that in, I should do this kind of thing. But I think it's just that it's the starting point, isn't it?
Oh, you're so right. And I think one example that sticks out in my mind was someone was filling in an entry form for the first time. They actually told me this last year. One of the questions that I put on it is, how do you profile yourself in the local community? And do you collaborate with anyone in the local community? And they were like, oh, no, I don't. But it made me think maybe I should. So I went to local hairdressers and we, card swapped so that we could promote each other to our client bases. And then I also was at I got involved in a local charity. They were doing a raffle, so I offered something up. So my brand name got out there. And then they filled it in the next year, and they said I had so much more to fill in, because I hadn't even thought about that area of my business until I read the entry form. And that was very fulfilling in itself. So you know what? It's an hour out of your life to push forward and fill in an application and just see what you get, and you could learn so much, and you can learn some things to benefit your business as well.
Yeah, it is very true, because the questions are great, obviously, because I was doing some of the judging, and the questions are really great at sort of making you think about
Susan.
what you do. Yeah, well done on that one, Helena. But they're very, very good. And so that is a really valid point, because I think, promotion goes so much further than just social media. Social media is fantastic, but it's local collaboration and all the other things that you can do. Definitely. That I love that someone's thinking, and I'm sure loads of other people who've entered have looked at the questions and thought, yeah, maybe I'm not doing enough on that area.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be doing more. So right now to the awards. So the time has flown over. Unfortunately, I can't be there, but I've been in the past. It's such a celebration. It's such
is.
a different kind of night, isn't it? It's like a real vibe kind of thing, rather than just like it's like a sit down, the standard awards things. It's such I don't know, everyone's rooting for everyone. I love that. I absolutely love that.
You know what it is, Susan? It's always around my birthday, the Scratch Stars Awards, and I just thought, right, if I had the budget from these sponsors and I was organising a great party, what would I want? And it's basically that, because my age is about the demographic of our audience, or the average demographic. And I'm just like, right, what do I want? I want quite a few Prosecco's tonight, thank you. I want to chat to my friends, my industry peers, see people who I've seen on social media. I want to celebrate the achievements of everyone around me and people that I follow and people that I know. And I want to have a good dance, and I want to maybe have a few selfies with the celebrity. And that's basically what the Scratch Stars party is in a nutshell.
Can you go if you, I'm not quite sure, are there still tickets available?
There are a few tickets. It is a sellout every year. So we've only got as of this morning, about 10 tickets left.
Right. But can you go if you aren't a finalist? Or
Yes.
do you, right.
It is open to any friends of the industry whatsoever. So it's basically there to recognise and reward the UK and Ireland nail industry. And so if you're a member of the beauty industry, you are so welcome to come. If you're a friend of the industry, if your nail tech is going, why don't come with them and just enjoy a great night and, clap as loud as you can and, really elevate these people that are there and winning awards, and then have a great night.
But I think as well, just putting yourself in that environment is great, isn't it? So if you even newer to the industry, to be there, it's like where you can aspire to get to, isn't it? Kind of as well.
And I think it's so nice because, as we were saying earlier, there's a lot of independent workers in this industry, home salon owners. We've seen a huge influx of those since COVID in particular, mobile nailists. There's a lot of people that work on their own, and it can be quite a lonely job. And it's events like these that really bring people together. And we had it at the judging day. The finalists sort of went for a drink after they competed and got to know each other. They're competing in the same category. But what I love seeing is it kind of got to me one year, actually. It was like how nice that they're sort of making friends and supporting one another. They follow each other on Instagram now and they're rooting for each other. And then they meet up again. We've got a lot of people that are coming on their own to the party, but they've messaged me saying, oh, can I sit next to blah, blah, please? Because I'm coming with them. And they've only made those friends through either the Scratch Stars Awards process or through social media. And it's just such a good night to get everyone together like that. And if you work on your own, you will always find a friend. There will always be people there to chat to and just celebrate with. And it's a really fun night for that.
And where are the awards at?
So there is a stunning venue called the Underglobe, and it's in between London Bridge and Blackfriars, very central location. Just outside, you've got the Thames, you've got London Bridge, and it's next to Shakespeare's Globe. So it's underneath, hence the Underglobe, and it's decked out like a Midsummer Night's Dream. So there's a big tree in the middle with fairy lights. There's, sparkle all on the walls. We've been doing this now. This will be our 13th year, and this is my favourite venue that we've ever done it in, and it's stunning. So central London location. You can get some great photos.
Oh, sounds amazing. This has been awesome. Honest, I think, we've covered so much in such a the time just flies over.
We could talk forever as well, Susan, that's the thing.
So where do you see the industry going? Do you just see that standards are going to get higher and higher? Or
I really hope so. And I think we have, as I mentioned, incredible organisations in this industry, and I'm name dropping the British Beauty Council, NHBF and Babtac, because they are working so hard to get the voices of the beauty industry heard at a higher level, to champion what's done, get more support for our industry, but also to work towards this regulation, which is so important. And I think that they do not stop pushing, and that is wonderful. So the only way is up from here, and that's really exciting, and that's really needed as well.
Oh, but Helena, honestly, I mean, you and your team do the most amazing job of really, really keeping this industry, you know, it's like so professional.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love the magazine. I just love what you guys do. And
Oh,
yeah, well, long may it
thanks.
continue. So thank you so, so much for taking the time to come in. And this has been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Susan. Really appreciate it.